Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Honorable former Vice President of India, Manishankar Iyer Sahab, and esteemed panelists. Zia Sahab, it's been quite a journey, I must say, from Till Talaq Do Us Apart to this book of saffron flags and skull caps. I think the image of the book, I've seen it many times in Varanasi, very distinct. It's very stark at the same time. But the title of the book perhaps gives me hope than nihilism that we are seeing around us. It says of saffron flags and skull caps, it's not about tika, tilak versus skull caps, or say saffron flag versus green flags. So I think that is what gives us hope, and this is what, on that note, and that is the way I have read this book. For me, this book is also about what Zia Sahab has actually said in the context of while he is quoting Maulana Ashraf Ali Thanvi about his, very famously read series of magazines called Behashti Zevar. I've read it while I was growing up in Patna, and it advises that women should not be taught to write. Well, the first word in Quran is Ikra, Padho. And while I was growing up, I was told by my father, who was a lawyer and a politician as well. So he used to say कि तुमको मतलब basically उस कुरान में जब word है इकरा उसका मतलब है कि पढ़ो आपको अगर चीन भी जाना पड़े क्योंकि उस ज़माने में चीन का significance was that you're very very far, it's very very far. So वहाँ भी जाकर के अगर आपको इल्म हासिल करना है तो आप जाकर के इल्म हासिल कर सकती हैं. And it's coming on a day, this debate or this entire conversation is coming on a day that All India Muslim Personal Law Board has just said that they are thinking of having Sharia courts. I'm debating that on my show tonight, and the more I read this book, the more I understand that how it is important for people like Zia to talk about what Quran says about women and their rights, about their understanding of what the first Muslim woman was, what Prophet's wives were about and what they believed in, and what is being depicted as an understanding of Islam and Quran, which is completely in contrast to what Quran believes in. So why is it important that we are debating the othering of a Muslim? Why is it that the Muslim community again and again, particularly those who are believed to be custodians of Islam, such as All India Muslim Personal Law Board, who has taken it on itself that they would appear as one, talking about Sharia courts today? When we say that othering of Muslim, I'm just thinking about it again and again, how much of that the Muslim community itself has contributed into. The reason why I'm saying so, and again, I am completely opposed to the idea of being nihilistic. Again, I'll go to the title of the book, which gives me hope more than going away from that, the entire depiction of identity being about tilak or skull cap. It's not about that, or burqa. It's not about that anymore. I think it's about also understanding that how ground is also shifting away. When 18% Muslims of Uttar Pradesh, for example, which are declared, that community is declared unwinnable. When 30% Muslims who form a very important part of the discourse in Assam do not matter. When a significant percentage of Muslims do not matter in every state, where they can make a difference, particularly with their voices and their opinion, then it is about the community also to think within. And that's what I am saying, and that's the way I look at this book. That when they talk about skull caps, it's about assertion of an identity, and I believe it's very important to assert your identity. It's not about the time. It's not about the last 4 years. It's about just saying that, yes, I'm a Muslim in India, and I believe that I'm a Muslim in India. And there's nothing wrong if I wear a skull cap, or I wear a burqa, or I wear anything. So I'm just looking at it from that point of view, and Zia Saab's book actually does a macro analysis and a micro analysis of how situation is changing and how it is drifting. So when he talks about akhlaq, he says that, 52-year-old akhlaq, father of an Indian Air Force personnel, is suspected of killing a calf and storing beef in his fridge at his residence in Dadri. And then he talks about how the entire event unfolded. I'm just trying to understand one thing, that why is it becoming that today any action or any incident that is involving Muslims of this nature, lynching or other incidents, almost invariably makes members of this community look as anti-social or anti-law, that they are against the law. Isn't that something that the community should be worried about? I'm not saying that they are doing something wrong, but I'm just saying that narrative of them being projected as against the law is again very, very worrying. And then that brings me to the question of what All India Muslim Personal Law Board has done today about Sharia courts. Imagine if members of other communities, what about Sikhs or Jains, if they start talking about their own courts, where will your own identity as minorities in this country go? So I'm saying that it's all right for us to be thinking about othering, because there is a very good book that has also been written by my very good friend Nazia, who has talked about mothering a Muslim in these current times. But I'm also saying that how much of are we responsible for this othering? And that's why I'm summing it up by just saying that this title of the book gives me a lot of hope. It's not about Tilak versus skull cap. It's about one color of the flag and not versus the other. So it's about identity. At the same time, it gives us hope. Wear your identity on my sleeves. I've been wearing that, and I think it's all right. Thank you.